If you're reading me, this is your sign to disarm the fortune teller archetype. I'm Sashi. I transform lives and curate the light. My proof of concept is my own life's arc, where I possess nothing, to building a legacy of functional, beautiful assets, wherein I don't even have to market myself out and loud on social media and still have a line of recurring long term clients in my DMs. And it's not just through discreet marketing, it's about successfully managing and supporting people through wise advisory setting. I will not overcomplicate this. You have to disarm the fortune teller archetype. You have to separate yourself from the carnival marketplace caricature. And if you are a fellow who do divination and is keen to make a profit off of it to a point wherein you do not have to work a 9 to 5, where one consultation with a client can basically have your monthly expense and needs or budget taken care of, then listen well, all right? You have to separate yourself from that because you will not be taken seriously to a degree, all right? You will be taken as the joker that people will take and bring to their friends and other circles as the jester. You are going to be the party favor. You are going to be basically the toy that they will brag to their friends. And you will be, in that context, you might think, especially if you came from a low status in life and you are not indoctrinated to etiquette or like have a keen social perception like I used to, you will be taken to those spaces and then you will also be scapegoated at the same time if something not so good were to happen to the other people in that group. Okay, you're going to be used as a social leverage or a social capital, and it's not for the insights that you bring, but for your entertainment value. And this is why it's very important to see and learn where do you belong, what's your positioning, what's your angle. All right? Because I do know that for the lot of you, you are taking this seriously. This matters a lot to you. This could be your bread and butter. You do give insight out of the place to care, out of a place of empathy, which is like, yeah, this is how you develop a psychic ability. It is through empathy and intellectualizing that in order to communicate that. Because being able to articulate the insights that you receive requires intellect. It requires lots of it, even. It requires not just theoretical knowledge, but also lived experience, you see. Because it is through lived experience that you're going to get a lot of the evidence that you need. to prove certain facts and why things are a pattern and a cycle. And if there's any way out, if there's any alternative, you will figure that out through that. Now, here's the thing: when clients come to you, it is your duty and responsibility to educate them about you, about how you should be approached, about the rules and regulations, about the boundaries, about your house rules. Because it is not a one size fits all to everybody. And you have to remember and understand that psychics or people with mystical abilities or metaphysical knowledge, and the ones who do that professionally, are only a very small percentage out of the population in the world. Right now, there is like 1 trillion of people in the world as I speak today. And the percentage of us is as small as like in between 1 to 4.5%, something like that. It is such a small percentage. And I believe part of why is simply because there hasn't been further research or survey done when it comes to our demographic, but the recorded details about it, or like rough estimate, is in between that. So, which will get you in a room of like, let's say, 1,000 people or like 100,000 people. There's only going to be one professional psychic that you will meet in your life. And that is why, for some people, they will only meet a psychic once in their entire lifetime. And some people never meet them at all. They only meet them in stories, through social media, or like they would go through several generations of their family without knowing one. Not at all. So you're going to be a foreign or like an alien kind of creature to these kinds of people. And we are blessed by the modern day development wherein in this age of information, things can be known much faster, broader, and we're able to interact and intersect in such a manner that many people are aware of the algorithm and demographic of us, as much as like there are people who are aware of the demographic of VTubers, gamers, but unless that's like your specialized interest, you will never come across those tangents. Circling back, circling back, circling back, circling back, circling back one last time to why is it important for you to inform them of your house rules, what to expect, is in order for you to lay down proper expectations and in order for you to be treated well. You cannot expect others to treat you well without you demonstrating it to yourself, first and foremost. And that's why self respect will always trump self care. And if you don't have self respect and self care, you are going to have a challenging time on the path wherein you will feel and experience more devastation and misery than alignment and ease. The path is meant to be a path of ease. If you're a fish, it should only make sense for you to feel as ease as much ease as possible when you're in the water because that's your field, that's your territory. And the same way as the birds feel as much ease and freedom when they're flying. And the same goes if you're a psychic, being able to provide insights, it should be an easy thing. It should be a thing that suits your soul and amplifies its energy. It was never meant to take energy from you unless you do not have the boundaries, unless you're not able to care for yourself. Yes, your spirit guides and all the other angels, saints, demons, and elementals that are working with you will be there for you. But you have the free will, you have the final say when it comes to your own soul. It's your own light. And that's why it's imperative that you have positive speech and that you remember who you are and that you start with the inquiry. If you don't, you start with the inquiry, who am I? And you ask yourself that repeatedly until you come to a certain conclusion that liberates you to a certain extent. And part of why you have to inform them and why you have to have these house rules and everything is so that you can filter out these clients. Are they the right fit for you or not? Because that's part of your risk management. And also part of like being seen as someone that is capable of discernment. Before teaching your client to choose their battles wisely, you have to demonstrate it. And this is also why you have to ask qualifying questions where you're not going to ask about what they're going through. No, you're not going to um, kind of like try to figure it out through that. No, no, no. Part of a best practice that I could share would be through asking preliminary questions of, are you going through psychosis or neurosis? Do you have background of like mental health challenges, or have you been well rested or disturbed the past week? Those simple things. That way you could assist them to proper channels, and at the same time you save yourself. You are not a mental health professional. You can be certified, sure, and nothing wrong about that. And like, props to you if you're doing that. You're aware and you know the importance of what I'm saying. But if not, understand that there is a consequence, there is risk associated with certain people. And it's not just their karma, no. It's about how their field interacts with yours. Whether you're going to have the capacity for it or not, or whether they have the capacity to digest and accept what you're saying, and if they have the capacity to discern the information that you will provide, because your information and the way that communicated can make or break your client. We don't want that. We want them to be friends with us. We want them to be our precious patrons for the years to come. So don't do that. And once you are able to do the house rules and everything, the next aspect that you have to ask yourself in the mirror is whether you'd like to perform or do you want to inform? Again, do you want to perform or do you want to inform? If you want to perform, go ahead and wear the costume. Every accessory style that can indicate that you are a fortune teller or manghuhula or a feng shui expert, go ahead and wear that kipao or like whatever that may or may not be cultural appropriation. Whether you want to cosplay as a person of the woods, go ahead, perform. But again, with performance comes your entertainment value, and people will pay you for that entertainment value, not for the value of your insight. Because when you perform rather than inform, what's very likely to happen is that when things go south, they can easily villainize you. And because you are performing it and it shows, it kind of like adds to their cognitive bias of why it is only right and just to villainize you further, given that you're already clearly an outsider to the social group. You are a weirdo, you are an eccentric. And like nothing wrong with being eccentric, but there is certain perception associated with that. If you must be eccentric and that's your preference in the way you do the work, then by all means, please be an elegant one. Be one that is glamorous in the right way. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you have to position yourself not as a performer for their entertainment. That's not what they pay you for. Until you position yourself as a serious advisor, tell me about it. Tell me about your experiences. And tell me where you want to go. I might be able to tap in with you. Because all this that I'm telling you will aid you to appeal to their selfish desire for something authentic, for something that is high end and not tacky. And this is where you step into the role of a psychic, where he is the sage, where he is the high priestess sitting next to the thrones of the kings, the queens, the kingmakers, decision makers. That's how you get to it. And in this video, we have and are breaking the spell. And breaking the spell means rejecting spiritual entertainment. I work with clients who seek a consultative relationship, not performance.